And a very good evening to you. Now, last week we thought we had 50% of the season done, but due to oversight from the management, instead of 4 races left, we have 5 Grand Prix to go until the end of the season. And it has been a fantastic campaign so far. It's been a simply sensational start to the season. 4 different winners from 4 different constructors in the title fight as well, and truly alive. It's round 5 of season 4 of Next Gen by JL, and we're at ZANDVOORT for the Dutch Grand Prix, and the race is going to get underway in around 45 minutes' time. Qualifying underway at roughly 8:30 British summer time. I'm Mr. Storm, joined by Tim as always, maybe joined by Ben Buxton later. That's probably a very slim chance of that happening, but we do have a pretty decent duo taking us through what's hopefully going to be another fantastic race. We have got 5 Grand Prix left until the end of the season. At Zandvoort next week, we go to Belgium. The Canadian Grand Prix is round 7 before Vegas and Silverstone round out the season. But Tim, it was a fantastic race last weekend, which saw Oscar get his first Grand Prix of the Grand Prix victory of the season. What are we in for tonight?
Honestly, I'm clueless. It's a new track for this league, so that can be interesting. But also, it's with the modern day Formula One cars, unless the weather throws something in, not really an interesting track for overtaking.
Well, we have got the weather forecast up here for you all. It is going to be a yet another dry race. It's partly cloudy at the moment in Zandvoort with a high of 10 degrees centigrade and a low of 6 degrees centigrade. It's giving a decent enough evening for the residents of Zandvoort as well, which is always nice. And we had lovely clear weather in Monza last week as well. Let's take a look at the World Drivers' Championship standings before we get things underway this evening. Oscar leads by just a solitary point from Jasko in the Ducati. Of course, Ducati went under some serious reshuffles after last week's race. A new owner in place. We'll talk about that more after we've got this little summary done. Bottas has fallen from first to third after retiring last week. He's on 51 points. There's a small gap between him and Marcus in the AFI Evian car. Nico and Baftister and Marcel. Artem Lizoff and Zomzed round out the top 10 at the moment. 19 drivers have scored points. 11 down to 19. Tisley Kajuba, Razak Cludden, Super Subida, Nibbles Biscuit, Domi Tokshne, and Oxagrab. In the constructor standings, Europol leaded by 5 points from Chevrolet. Europol on 85, Chevrolet on 80, and there's a massive gap then to Ducati in third position on 58 points. AFI Evian in fourth and 47, a point ahead of PHM in fifth. RUF T-Mobile are 13 points ahead of Yaz Heat in seventh. Above are in eighth. Ultratech, Toms, and Jusk Fiat round out the field. Dutch Grand Prix tonight, then. Very welcome along to everyone who's either on stage listening to us now or indeed watching. But we did have the big reshuffle at Ducati after the last Grand Prix. Tim, give us a little bit of information about it for anyone who's unaware.
Well, Ducati now currently is on a new ownership, so that's rather interesting to see, of course. So, well, we all know they're gonna be rebranded, and we'll see how the new owner takes the job on.
Well, yeah, Martin did leave Ducati after the Italian Grand Prix, and AMX has taken over the outfit. Ducati are going to become a Porsche Sauber F1 team in Season 5. We already mentioned that. A few other little bits of news in the last week. Ultratech F1 has been put up for sale by Middington, and Yaz Heat in the last few days have also been put up for sale because their owner has left the server. So never a dull week, I suppose, in this league. Teams chopping and changing, drivers chopping and changing, and that's why we love this league, because of how fresh it can get. Tim.
Yeah, of course, lots of changes. I mean, we've still got Just Heat, who is still looking for a new ownership, so that's interesting to see, especially, of course, one of the drivers departing at the end of the season, so we'll see how it turns out for them. But it doesn't look too well for them currently.
So 4 races down, 4 different constructors have won a Grand Prix this season. We've got 5 races left on F1 23, and of course more info has been released on F1 24 in the last week. Nothing about online yet, whether that will get a whole massive revamp, we're not sure. But Tim, just taking a look back at this game, and as we approach the sort of twilight and the sunset of this game's lifespan, has it been good for this league, do you think?
I mean, I think can be great. Well, yeah, time will tell, but I believe it can be great. So
Let's see. So, what do we have coming up on the agenda? Well, we've already discussed the championship. We've already got a little sneak preview towards tonight. Gridwalk will get underway in around 5 minutes' time. We've already got four eagerly anticipated drivers of Bath Destroyer, Bottas, Vic, and Cludden, all listening to us on stage. Good evening to you all. Just what I find interesting about the championship is obviously it was a short one at 8 races before. Now we've got the additional race, and I suppose there is a little bit of wiggle room now, I suppose, for Bottas, because he is only 8 points behind, but maybe with 4 races left, he would have felt a little bit more pressure, I suppose. With 5 left, he can't take things easy. I don't think he can afford to do that. But he has to at least win one race, surely, Tim, before the end of the season.
yeah, I think he does have to, but we'll see how it turns out, I guess.
And just looking at Marcus, do you think 22 points behind, 5 races to go, are AFI even going to get the Drivers' Championship with Marcus, or is it a little bit too late for them?
I think it's never too late. I mean, we're almost halfway through the season, so basically anything can still happen. You can, I mean, in theory, yes, Fiat could still win it. We're not far in yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, and we just do have a bit of official confirmation that Ben won't be joining us tonight. Hopefully, he'll be back next weekend. Has it been a good week for you, Tim?
Decent. I mean, we just finished. Had some school thing. Now exams coming up, so that's great.
Yeah, that's always.
But of course, also interesting news in the real Formula One paddock. So also that's fun.
Yeah, it's always fun with exams coming up and the inevitability of stressing out about them. 5 weeks to go in this season will coincide, really, I suppose, the end of the season, the end of my school year. We get off very, very early anyway, so the summer will hopefully be very, very good. Of course, a lot to look forward to over the summer. We've got the Euros, the Olympics, Copa America, all that sort of lovely stuff. And of course, this league will return in the summer as well for season 5 and a brand new game. I suppose a big question to ask though, Tim, are you excited for it?
I am very much excited for it. I mean,
Just looking at beta, the first beta test went badly wrong, I think, from Codemaster's perspective, with people not really liking how the game feels, apart from the content creators who are probably being paid to say that they love the game. Team McMarlick. Yeah, yeah. But what changes do Codemasters and EA need to make on a whole to make the game series as good as it was, say, about 4 years ago with F1 2020?
Change like the whole handling shit.
Yeah, I think that's actually quite straightforward. Let me see. It's just gone 30 minutes past 8. British summer time. Gridwalk, I think, will wait for a few more minutes, but it is the Dutch Grand Prix tonight at Zandvoort. Return to the F1 calendar in 2021 after it's supposed to race there in 2020, but obviously the big coronavirus pandemic postponed it. Max Verstappen has a perfect record at the track, and of course, it is the first time that we'll be racing around this track tonight, which always is very nice to see a new track get its debut in this league. It's a voyage into the unknown for a lot of drivers tonight. Do you think that it's going to be a war of attrition?
I'm not too sure. What do you think then?
Yeah, I was just sorting out some stuff, but yeah, look, a war of attrition might be what happens tonight. Looking at what has happened so far this season, we've had some pretty wacky incidents. Last week at Monza was slightly controversial. Japan certainly was. It's a tough track, Zandvoort, especially to overtake and to race around. My estimate is we'll see at least one massive crash tonight,
Probably.
and maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. But just looking at what's happened this season so far, I think the drivers will have to be cautious. It's going to be a fantastic race, though, hopefully.
Yeah, I do wonder if we maybe at the Hugenholzbocht get like a Daniel Ricciardo kind of crash.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
No. All right, then. We did say grid walk would be coming up now, and so we will get that going then. First up, we're hopefully going to talk to Bottas, although his microphone has broke. So I'm not sure if he'll be able to properly talk to us. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But we'll get him up and we'll try him anyway.
Can you invite or?
Or is that?
Or did you want to invite first again?
Bottas.
Bottas, okay, let me just send him there one. Really quick.
Hello?
Is that the hum of Valtteri Bottas? It certainly is. Valtteri, Zandvoort tonight, on the back of retirement last week. The only way is up, isn't it?
Yes.
Very straightforward and to the point. Is it going to be a win tonight? Podium? What are you thinking?
Yes.
Yes.
Win.
Yes, and indeed the second word, win. Looking at the championship fight, you're only 8 points behind at the moment. Can you afford to be consistent now, or does it have to be all guns blazing until the end of the season?
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna go all guns blazing like I have for the last 2 seasons.
Well, thank you very much, Bottas, and enjoy tonight's race.
Thank you.
Can never get away from Bottas at this stage. Bath Destroyer, we'll get a quick word with him. The time is now for Bath Destroyer. And I'm not talking about John Cena's intro music from the WWE, but the time is probably now. Bath Destroyer, good evening to you.
Hello, a pleasure to be back. I always enjoy the interviews after and before the race.
Thank you very much, Bath Destroyer. 11th place last weekend. You did crash out in the first few laps of the race. Not the best Grand Prix for you. We asked Bottas the same question. Is it the only way up for you tonight? The only way is up?
Yeah, I mean, my main weakness is qualifying, I'd say. But I'd say I'm probably the most confident going into tonight than I have been so far this race. I mean, this season. I'm gonna sneeze, I think. Hang on. Oh, right, no, it's gone. But yeah, just need to practice qualifying a bit more, but I'm feeling confident. Last time I had a league race in Zandvoort, I lost the win by 0.008 of a second, which was very painful. But yeah, just gonna try and get the best result I can and not crashing. I don't think me and Sky Scap will be at the same part of the track unless there's some chaos again. So yeah, just gotta try and get to the line. Yeah.
So you said that you were very, very close to winning at your last race at Zandvoort. Does that bode, I suppose, a good chance for you to get in the podium tonight? Maybe even win it if luck goes your way?
I'd say it's probably podium if luck goes my way, but maybe if I think a top five's good, will be good. Obviously gonna be dry, so not gonna be any rain, which I think it could be an exciting race, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a race of frustration for quite a few drivers, as it's quite a hard track to overtake. I won't be surprised if we see some people trying to go side by side through the two quick right-handers at the end of Sector 1.
So PHM 1 point behind AFI Evian and 12 points behind the rebranded Ducati. Do you think the best of the rest place is the best PHM can get this season? Do you think you'll be able to maybe start an unlikely charge towards the Constructors' Championship?
I mean, if if Flexi was still here, then I'd probably say yes. But I think me and Dambo, we could probably still get best of the rest. I think we just gotta be consistent, not make any mistakes like we did last week. Just gotta work as a team, really work together, and make sure we can get the most points for the team.
Thank you very much, my friend, Square, and we will hopefully talk to you after the race.
Thank you.
After Square, always a pleasure to talk to someone so eloquent, I think. Who else have we got? We've got a few other people on stage. At the moment, we'll grab a word with Vic.
Hello, hello.
Good evening, Vic. How are you?
Doing good, thank you for asking. How about you?
I'm pretty good, yeah. So, last week, Milpois finished in 12th and had a pretty poor race. Looking towards ZANDVOORT tonight, is this a big race for you and the team?
Well, I don't know about the team very much, because, as you said, maybe the atmosphere isn't the greatest at the moment. As we saw, our owner left, and Zombs is not going to be attending the race. Not sure why, but, yeah, I'm just here for the fun, I guess.
Do you
But,
think you'll be able to do well for the team tonight, or do
sorry?
you think you'll be able to do well for the team tonight?
I think it should be good if I don't get I mean, if we don't get third partied by somebody, I think it should be. I think it should be good.
So, what do you think you'll be able to do today, points-wise, position-wise as well?
Top five is a pretty, I guess. How do you say it? Like
Realistic ambition.
realistic ambition. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well, thank you very much, Vic, and we will hope you talk to you at the end of the race.
Posted too.
Tim,
That's
just looking at attendance tonight, not as good as some of the other races this season. We've only got 14 drivers officially down to do the race.
I'm gonna just
Is it a
blame the
slight
track.
disappointment?
I'm gonna blame the track
Really? Why?
because it's ZANDVOORT.
Yeah, that's fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, fair enough. I don't blame you for saying that whatsoever. So ZANDVOORT is the killer of many drivers' hopes and aspirations to race in this league. You heard it here first. We all hate ZANDVOORT, but hopefully it's going to give us a good race tonight. And qualifying should be getting underway in around 7-10-ish minutes, hopefully, if everyone joins in time. I'm going to move to the commentary chat in a few moments. Tim, would you be ready to do that now, or?
I think we'll just head out for a bit now and just come back for the commentary.
So
We'll
it's,
see
it's sort of
in a couple of minutes.
it's a miniature advertisement break, yeah. So we will be back in a few minutes for qualifying the Dutch Grand Prix.
Time to absolute perfection. Here we go then, round 5 of not 8, but 9 rounds in Season 4 of Next Gen by JL. Qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix is coming up next. It's the first time we've raced around the sand dunes of ZANDVOORT in this series, and we are almost ready to go. It's clear skies in the Netherlands tonight in the ZANDVOORT region, and we're ready to go for qualifying. Mr. Storm and Tim in the gantry tonight. Here we go, Tim. First time around ZANDVOORT. Is it going to be fun, or is it going to be a flop?
I probably suspect the latter. I mean, qualifying will probably determine quite a bit here. It's like, I don't know, it's not as bad as Monaco, of course, but also not as bad to drive through as Monaco, but like, I mean, it's kind of like Hungary, but then with less overtaking opportunities.
So it is a voyage into the unknown for this league. 16 drivers taking part in qualifying tonight, and already one of them has disconnected. Vic will hopefully be re-invited by one of us at some stage. Session about to begin. If you're watching the stream, it'll go from 17 minutes roughly back to 18 for whatever reason. I don't know why the game does that, but it's probably just to load everyone in or whatever. Hopefully it should go and reset itself now. Hopefully. I've been waiting a while. 16:55. Maybe it'll go now. I hope for too much.
Yeah.
16:49. And counting. And 18 minutes. There we go. Qualifying finally underway. Green light at the end of the pit lane. The first time ZANDVOORT is going to make its hopefully grand entrance. Nothing better than a first impression for this league. Qualifying 18 minutes of it to decide the grid for this Grand Prix is about to get underway. And we have movement at the end of the pit lane, at the very end of the pit lane. I will have you know, and it will be the Bumblebee car of Artem Lizov who comes out first onto the track. Tim.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the bot can do. Only one bot here. I don't know what happened to Sam Rose, but he's been invisible. Like, literally.
I think Sam Rose is probably just waiting for the right moment to come back and win a race. Artem and I believe that's Skyscap. Yeah, it is Skyscap going side by side through turn 3 there. Skyscap will probably be the first driver to set a lap time in this qualifying session, so we will ride on board with him. Just a quick reminder of the championship standings after the first 4 races of the season. Oscar leads it by a point from Jasko after Oscar has had a very good 2 races, finishing second in Austria 2 weeks ago and winning in Monza last week. Jasko second in the Ducati on 58 points. Bottas was first, now down to third on 51 points. Marcus is in 4th for AFI Evian on 37, 13 points ahead of Nikon, who's in 5th. Bath Destroyer, Marcel, Litwa, Arten and Zomzed round out the top 10. Tisley, Kajuba, Razak, Cludden, Super Subida, Nibbles Biscuit, Domi, Tokchane and Oxagrav. The rest of the drivers with points. The constructors standings, Europol lead by 5 points from Chevrolet. Ducati, the rebranded Ducati, are now in 3rd. AFI Evian, PHM, RUF T-Mobile, Yaz Heaterboff, Ultratech Thomas and Yusk Fiat round at the field. Skyscap ready to start his first qualifying run at the ZANDVOORT circuit, coming down the front straight, 8th gear, 315 kilometers an hour, brake down in towards the right-hander of turn number 1, 3rd gear, 120 kilometers an hour, rising up the gears and putting his foot flat to the throttle, into the kink of 2, and then in towards turn 3 and 4, taking a lovely line through there. 3rd place man in the championship, Skyscap, but has a small kick of oversteer coming out of that first bank corner. Down the sort of twisty back straight then and up towards the first sector splits comes the man who is hoping to regain the championship lead. 24.4 in that first sector in towards the fast right-hander. 6th gear, 250 kilometers an hour before he brakes and puts it down towards 3rd gear for yet another right. Then into the left-hand corner, brake around the 25-meter marker, then lift off. Then activate the DRS, 5th gear, 6th, 7th. Will he reach 8th gear? No, he will not. Into the chicane he comes, 3rd gear, 2nd in the second part. Then rising up the gears into the final right-hander off the lap before the infamous banked corner. 4th gear for there. It is a small moment for Skyscap. It looks like a my screen, but here he comes up to the line. What is it going to be for Skyscap as he approaches the timing line? It's a 1 minute 9.004. Artem's up next, and he will set a 1 minute 9.0904. Liberty goes into 3rd with a 1 minute 9.925. It will be Cludden who comes up to the line next. 1 minute 10.535 before his teammate Nikon will come up to the line himself in the other car there. He will set a quickest lap time. What a lap from Nikon. 1 minute 8.851 as he locks the rears into turn 1 and nearly goes careering into the wall. Tim.
Amazing lap here from him, of course. I didn't expect someone to beat Bottas already, to be honest. Especially seeing the gap he already built with on Artem. Didn't expect him to get beaten, but well, he did. Oh, and
Well, Marcel in the other
And someone's
Chevrolet
gotten
car
off.
getting very close as well.
someone...
Yeah, we have
Domi.
Domi, is it?
I'm
Yeah,
not
Domi. Yeah,
surprised.
Domi. Yeah, at this stage, Domi just wins the race. 3 crashes. At least there's no in between for Domi. Marcel has gone into third in the second Chevrolet car. The top 3 separated by roughly 2/3 of a second on those first runs. Coming up to the line next is let me see. Someone coming into the pits. Vic's back as Alexander Delnik has had a huge moment coming out off the right-hander before the second sector split. He has completely ruined
is in
his
the
lap.
last sector now.
Yeah, coming up towards that final corner. 5th gear in the penultimate corner. Activates the DRS. He comes onto the final banked curve onto the front straight. 8th gear, 300 kilometers an hour, and goes into 5th with 1 minute 9.541. First run's nearly over, and at the moment Nikon leads with 13 minutes and a bit to go in this session. 1 minute 8.851. Tim, what have you made of the session so far?
Well, it looks to be so far like Chevrolet will be up there. And well, I think Chevrolet is quick in qualifying. I think they can fight for pole, potential win maybe as well. It's just so far it's been Nikon who has beaten them, and Oscar came a bit close, but that's about it.
It does look like Bath Destroyer is on another flying lap. He's got very, very minimal battery left, so that will probably impact him slightly. Coming up towards the middle sector split, has set a 49.2 and is 7/10 off, so
No
well,
chance.
that lap has not gone to
Dumbo.
plan whatsoever. Yeah, Dumbo is coming through the first corner there. Tim, take us through the lap.
Well, let me pull up my track map. Then I know the corner's name. But right now through the, I forgot the corner name already. Almost completing first sector. Anyways, it goes according to the game purple. That's very, very misleading. So it doesn't say anything at all.
The game lies.
The game lies a lot. Then we go
Oh,
through
big
the,
moment there.
yeah, big number there, coming out of turn 9 it was, yeah, through turn 10 now. It's literally called like that, I don't know who came up with those names, but then we got to the Hans Ernst Ermsport. Nice. I'm Dutch and I don't even understand what the name of the corner is. Yeah, I'm not gonna pronounce that corner's name, and then we go to the Arie Leijendijkbocht.
Now coming up to the line is Dambo in the second PHM car, and it will be dead last at the moment of all the runs. 1 minute 11.367, as we have a yellow flag for someone who's gone off at the final corner. We'll get to that in a moment, as Jasko Kirill has come out of absolutely nowhere to set the quickest time of the session. 1 minute 8.607 for the man who is currently second placed in the championship. Championship leader Oscar is in 5th, 1 minute 9.210.
Lit was on the fly in the meantime, as he is entering the last bit of the track here.
He has backed out though.
Yeah, I mean, he gets quite some traffic ahead, not too surprised. Let's
Indeed.
see who else.
So will will he decide to pit or will he stay out?
Nikon just started the flyers. He just came through the Tarzan board.
Well, it's a lovely line for the first few corners as
Yeah.
well. For Nikon, fantastic run for the first sector as he
And
comes up
also-
towards the first sector split. Down the
The
straight he
Hunter-
comes, 6th gear into 7th and then 300, nearly reaching 300 kilometers an hour. The first sector split, 89,000 up. That is probably not a very misleading purple first sector as he comes into the fast right. 6th gear, 245 kilometers an hour. Just going past the PHM has gone very wide on the side of the track, obviously trying to get out of Nikon's way. Then into the left, 4th gear, dropping it all the way down to 135 kilometers an hour. Small kick of oversteer on the way out, 2 kicks of oversteer on the way out. At the middle sector split, Nikon is 12 thousandths of a second off. Needs to find a big bit of time if he wants to dislodge Jasko Kirill from that P1 slot at the top of the timesheets in towards the penultimate corner. He comes 150 meters away from the DRS, activates the rear slot on his rear wing through the banked final corner, and up to the line comes the man who was in provisional pole position a few minutes ago. He backs out and goes into the pits. Skyscap's also on a flying run as well as he comes into the final two corners. This will be a big lap for Skyscap if he managed to get on the front row, maybe even got provisional pole position. Takes the same line as he did on his last run. Up to the line comes Skyscap. It's a 1/10 improvement as he goes in towards second place. Oscar also on a flying run.
Lap. Oh, he backs out of it.
Yeah. He's 1 minute 24.519. That's not at 100% roll time. But here comes Oscar up to the line. Championship leader getting a little bit of slipstream. Oh, he's backed out. Everyone's
in the
backing
meantime,
out now.
Dalnik, who still hasn't scored a point this season, is starting his
Due to a
flying.
variety of luck and just deciding to retire from the races. Number one rule in Formula One: never give up. At the first sector split, Alexander Delnick at 23.995, which, if I'm right, is the quickest first sector of the session. But he does have a little bit of traffic in front of him, and that might hinder his qualifying run. He gets past the first car without much of a problem. Clutton has left the session. He's disconnected. Into the left corner comes Delnick. He has gotten past the two cars that were in front of him, though, at the middle sector split. What can he do? It's a 47.831, and it looks like it's been a very, very good lap for the man who has been so unfortunate so far this season. Will it be points for the first time in round 5 into the penultimate corner? 100 meters away from the DRS, activates the drag reduction system at the rear of his car. Round the final corner he comes, and up towards the line comes Alexander Delnick. What will it be for him? Only fourth, 1 minute 8.851, sets the exact same time as Nikon, and this has happened a few times before in Formula One, most infamously at Ref in 1997. 7 and a bit minutes to go.
Yeah, of course, rather interesting. This is not the first time in NGFL as well. People have set the exact same time, so.
Well, Domi is on a very slow flying lap. Sets 1 minute 20.515. It is presumably going to go again. Tim, maybe take us through Domi's lap.
I mean, is he on a flyer though? Is he?
Nah.
Nah, he's not.
But he backed out now.
Yeah,
he backed out. He
backed out.
started the lap very fast and then backed out. Marcel's on an out lap as there's a car that's stopped completely on the track. Cludden. No, it's not Cludden. Is it Nikon? Yeah, Nikon stopped completely on the track. Has now got going, has completely destroyed one of the brake boards, so that'll maybe be a hindrance for some drivers.
He broke the brake board.
Yeah, he did. Bath Destroyer has come in from yet another flying run. Artem is 2/10 up, and Artem's actually had a fantastic first sector. Has had a big moment, though, going very, very wide into the
And he's
fast
out of
right-hander.
ERS, don't forget that.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Also on a flying run is Danbo, or is Dambo on an in lap? We'll see in a minute. It looks like he is on a fast lap, so we'll keep an eye on him. Artem at the middle sector split with barely any ERS left, 1/10 up. It would put him at the moment into 9th position in front of Makan, who is set at 1 minute 0.855. Artem at 1 minute 9.904. A little bit of oversteer coming out of the penultimate corner as he comes into the banked last turn off the circuit. He will decide to stay out. Did look like he was going to pip it up to the line. He comes, goes into 9th with 1 minute 9.681. It also looks like Nikon's on a flying run, but he's a 10th down in the first sector, so it doesn't look like there's going to be much of an improvement. Marcel's also on a flying run. We're not sure of his first sector split, but we will keep you updated on his second sector split. Activates the DRS 5th gear, 6th, and then in towards 7th at the second sector split. He is 17 thousandths off a second off, and then goes very wide into the chicane. A lot of drivers struggling with the track so far, Tim.
Yeah, quite some drivers struggling now out there. As we can see that Vic is currently now on a fly as far as I can see, as Liberty's out.
Well, Marcel up towards the line. It's a marginal improvement, which keeps him in 6th position. Oscar is gone past a PHM, which has completely destroyed itself. It's Dambo who's spun at the first corner and has not caused any damage towards other drivers, but has certainly caused damage towards himself. Entire front wing gone there, and that might be qualifying over. He's currently 14th at the moment with 5 minutes to go. It doesn't look like he'll be able to improve like that.
Also,
will they be able to get the repairs
funny
done?
that we've got 3 drivers with the exact same time.
Exactly, yeah. It's 1997 and Jerez again.
But then just for P3.
Yeah. Yeah, Skyscrap is also 7,000th off Nikon, Delnik and Sada as well, and Oscar as well. Oscar is 2 seconds off his personal best. Marcel's on an in lap as well. Dumbo just completely destroyed the car, and Tokchine is on presumably an in lap as well. Delnik's also on an out lap as well, so if he's able to improve, then he'll probably go second. Maybe he'll even be able to challenge for pole. He set a purple first sector on his first proper run, so maybe he'll be able to challenge for pole. Who knows? Tim, late prediction for pole position at this stage.
I'm gonna go with Skyscap. I think he
Bold
pulled something out
choice.
of the hat. I think it will be Ducati 2-3 with Skyscap leading the way. That's my guess.
So Alexander Delnik will be the first of the main contenders to go around again. Nikon will follow him. The pits dissipating very rapidly indeed. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be certainly a very dramatic final 3.5 minutes. Alexander Delnik versus Nikon versus Skyscap versus Jasko, and versus the championship leader Oscar for pole position. And maybe even Marcel might have something to say about it as well. Alexander Delnik puts his foot flat to the floor and will start his final qualifying run, it looks like. Up to the line he comes, into 8th gear he comes, 315 kilometers an hour as he comes down towards the first corner on this track Tarzan box. 3rd gear, 135 kilometers an hour. Coming in towards turns 2, 3 and 4, takes a nice run through 3. You have to keep it stuck for 4, and it's a lovely run as well. Clubton has left the session once again. Connection issues proving to be very interesting tonight. We'll see if that impacts any of the drivers in the race. First sector split for Alexander Delnik, 85 thousandths for the second up, 23.909. Nikon also on a flying run will come to him in a few moments' time. Into the right corner comes Alexander Delnik, and then into the second right in a row. 4th gear, 140 kilometers an hour exactly. Then in towards the left in 5th, down to 4th. We'll activate the DRS in 50 meters time. The rear slot in the rear wing is opened, and at the middle sector split, it will be Alexander Delnik sitting a 47.437, 4/10 of a second quicker, and this is a sensational lap for the man that has been so cruelly denied points this season. Will this be provisional pole position for the man that has achieved so little this season? Could this be the kickstarter to his championship? Through the final corner he comes, and up to the line he will come. Will it be provisional pole position for Alexander Delnik? The answer is yes! 1 minute 8.384. Sensational. Here comes Nikon, 88 thousandths of a second. It says that he set a purple middle sector. That is probably not the case. Up to the line comes Nikon. Will it be a good lap for him? That will probably put him 3rd at the moment. Might even put him 2nd. He'd need a massive final sector to get provisional pole. He stays 4th. He loses out by a 10th of a second. Skyscap and Jasko on outlaps. Alexander Delnik has retired. He thinks he's done enough. Tim, what a lap that was.
What a lap, yeah. I mean, he can't improve much on that, I think. It's just, we'll see what Jasko and Skyscap can pull out of their heads, but
it doesn't look like they'd be able to do much given what
yeah,
Alexander Delnik did. Maybe Jasko will be able to do something. Who knows? After all, he set a fantastic first run and probably has a little bit more time in the locker. Here he comes out of the final corner. He comes, the man who's 2nd placed in the championship at the moment in the Ducati. Ducati looking to lock out the front row with a 1-2 at the moment. The rebranded Ducati team. Martinez gone, and Ducati ready for a massive overhaul coming into next season. Jasko in towards the first couple of corners. 3 in 5th gear, down into 4th in 3rd gear. Then going down up into 4th, then to 5th, then to 6th, and then finally into 7th. Will he reach 8th gear before the end of the straight? Doesn't look like a first sector split. He is 1/10 up, and that's a fantastic start to Jasko Kirill's lap. Looking to regain the lead of the Drivers' World Championship. Sada is also on a flying run, 2/10 up as well. So maybe Oscar might have something to say in this qualifying session as well. Into the left-hander comes Jasko Kirill in that Ducati. 4th gear, 142 kilometers an hour. Activates the DRS in that rear slot on the rear wing. Maybe we'll get a little bit of toe on that final straight. 1 and a bit tenths up, about 2/10 quicker. Does run wide though into the chicane, and that might hinder his lap, which means Alexander Delnik might have a clear run at pole position. Into the penultimate corner comes the man who's
Marcel
2nd in the
goes
championship.
And Marcel,
Big lap from Marcel. Big lap from Marcel. Jasko Kirill will probably improve 2/10 up at his personal best. Up to the line. Will it be provisional pole? Only second position. Here comes Skyscap, 55 thousandths of a second down. Oscar coming up to the line, only 23 thousandths up. Oscar stays 6th, doesn't even improve, which means Skyscap will be the only hope for Chevrolet to get pole position. His teammates in 3rd, but it does look like it's going to be a Ducati front row lockout. Bath Destroyer goes into 4th. He wasn't happy with his qualifying pace, but he's proved everyone wrong. He's in 4th. Skyscap not improving, so it looks like he is going to be condemned to 5th place. He has to get out of the way. The Bumblebee car has to get out of the way of him into the penultimate corner. He comes. Skyscap up towards the line. Will it be good enough for 4th? Will it be good enough for 3rd? Or will he remain in 5th place? It looks like it's Alexander Delnik's pole position. Skyscap goes into 4th. 1 minute 8.755. Makan's backed out of his lap. So is Artem Lizov. And that is qualifying Tim. Alexander Delnik on pole position.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff there. That lap he managed to pull out was amazing.
So the Ducati Renaissance begins in earnest. A front row lockout for the Italian outfit in their final few races as Ducati before they rebrand to
Once
become...
again, I think it's the most rebranded
Sauber
team there
outfit.
is right now.
Yeah, and of
And you-
course they'll become the Porsche Sauber F1 team in Season 5. AMX F1 will certainly be over the moon. Martin maybe will have a twinge of regret not being able to see these drivers perform at the utmost level. But qualifying done and dusted for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's a Ducati 1-2 on the front row, and we are certainly in for a dramatic race indeed. 36 laps here at Zandvoort, up and coming in a few moments' time. Here's your qualifying order. Alexander Delnik on pole position by 1.5 tenths of a second from his Ducati teammate Jasko in second. Marcel and Skyscap look at the second row for Chevrolet. Bath Destroyer 5th in the PHM. Nikon's Oscar. Makan, Artem and Cludden round out the top 10. Litwe is 11th in the Europol. Tokchene, Liberty Weight, Domi, Dambo and Vic round out the grid. 36 laps of Zandvoort. The Dutch Grand Prix is on the way next.
Yeah, well, amazing that was from Delnik. It's rather interesting to see that Lambo, who has been performing quite well last week, I believe. I mean, during qualifying at least that was, and his teammate all the way up at 5th, he finds himself quite low.
I think we also have a early contender for the Ben Buxton Supermarket Shopper of the Week award, because Vic, although not being in the race, has set a 1 minute 24. Uh-oh.
What's the uh-oh about?
Race day at Zandvoort. There is simply nothing like it. A new track ready to make its impression on Next Gen by JL, and the Ducatis have certainly made their impression on Zandvoort. A 1-2 on the grid for Alexander Delnik and Jasko Kirill. Ducati under new ownership, going to be rebranded at the end of this season. Maybe able to start a sort of mid-season Constructors' Championship charge. It is round 5 of not 8 but 9 races in Season 4 of Next Gen by JL. I'm Mr. Storm, joined in the commentary box by Tim for the 5th round of this season. A dramatic qualifying, Tim. Are we in for a dramatic race?
I think we might as well be, to be honest.
Well, you weren't singing Zandvoort's praises before qualifying, but hopefully we will be after this race. If you were just joining us, you missed an incredible qualifying session. If you've been with us for the entire stream, thank you very much for watching, and a very good evening to you. Friday nights and Next Gen, simply nothing like it. Formation lap underway. Let's take a look at what tyres the grid will be starting on. And it is very mixed indeed. The Ducatis both starting on the hard compound tyres. Chevrolet going with the mediums and softs for Marcel and Skyscap respectively. But after throwing the PHM is on the mediums, as a small kick of oversteer out of turn 1. Both Nikon and Oscar, the championship leader, on the hards. Makan and Artem on the softs. Cludden and Litwell on the mediums. Tokchene and Liberty on the softs. Dommy's on the mediums. Dambo on the soft compound tyre. Vic rounds out the field on the medium compound tyre. Formation lap on Zandvoort underway, Tim.
Yeah, I think the hard tires might be the better one. Yeah, like the strategies I've been given now. I think the hard tire might be the good one to start on for the race, like in total, but of course it will hinder your start, and you'll see then both Chevrolets opting for a softer tire, Skyscape even a way softer tire. Same goes with the PHM of Ball Destroyer. But you got the Ducatis, Nico and Oscar, who opt for the hards as that is strategy-wise the better tire, but track position-wise might not be.
Well, if you are starting on the hards, you'll be pushing around lap 17. If you're on the softs, lap 15. Same for the mediums. The pit windows will be very close together in this race, but we will probably see a few safety cars, so that will probably go out the window. Alexander Delnik on pole position for the first time this season. Retired in Japan, has had very, very poor luck this season. By his standards, he needs this. Yasko also needs this for the championship fight. Marcel needs to hope that Skyscap has a good race. Chevrolet only lead, are behind us, Europol by 5 points in the constructors standings. Bath Destroyers 5th in the PHM. Nikon, Oscar the championship leader. Makan, Artem and Cludden round out the top 10. Litwa, Tokshne, Liberty, Domi, Dambo and Vic round out the grid. But Ducati have certainly risen from their wrecked ruins. It's a 1-2 on the grid, and we are ready to go to 5 red lights here in Zandvoort.
As I hate this camera again, because...
Me too.
I don't know, it's even...
Well, here we
it's
go. Green
moving.
flag at the back. We go to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights for the Dutch Grand Prix. Round 5 of the season. Wait for us. Wait for us. And we have 2 drivers with a jump start and a drive-through penalty, but we are underway in Zandvoort. Brilliant start. What a start from Makan, who has actually got a jump start, though, who does take the lead and gets the whole shot into turn 1. Alexander Delnik is remaining in second. Marcel has got past Yasko. The Chevrolets with a big start there. It's currently a Ducati Chevrolet sandwich. Skyscap's out of the race, and so is Liberty. And we have a virtual safety car at the moment, which will probably upgrade to be a full safety car. What the hell happened, Tim?
I have got no clue.
Yeah, safety car deployed. As Skyscap retires, and his championship challenge fading immediately.
Skyscap, who... He was known for the driver who finished every race and finished every race in the points. And now for the 2nd race in a row, out of the race.
Well, Skyscap's championship challenge is fading immediately. Dambo has crashed under safety car conditions and has lost a little bit of his front wing, but the race order at the moment, the Union Jack car,
Dunbar is
can
stuck.
be...
Dunbar is stuck, he's not... Yeah.
He is. Yeah, but he's reset, And is behind the safety car now, so I believe... Can he get past it? Maybe. Probably not, though.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Well,
He's
he's
retired. He's
crashed
killed himself.
into the safety car.
So he's killed himself, presumably because he's had enough. So we've got 3 drivers out within the space of a lap. Makan leads, he's got a jump start. So has Oscar, the championship leader. Delnik is in second.
Safety car, can you?
Let's see what Makan and Oscar do. They have gone into the pits. Oscar stays out, so maybe Makan's made the wrong choice.
Yeah, you can't serve a drive-through under a safety car thing.
Yeah, but and Makan's pit because of it, and Tokshne's got a 5-second time penalty too. So race order after the first lap of 36 here at Zandvoort.
Strange strategy, that's also a possibility, but I
Yeah,
highly doubt that, because this is not a good strategy.
No. Race order then after the first lap. Alexander Delnik does lead from pole position after a slight scare. After Liberty Wakes just left the session after Makan took the lead. Dambo's also left as well. Marcel is second. He's the only Chevrolet left in the race. Yasko in third in the second Ducati. Oscar in fourth, the championship leader in the Europol. Nikon and Cludden fifth and sixth. Litwa, Artem, Lizov, Domi and Makan round out the top 10. Tokshne, Vic and Bath Destroyer at the back, but a dramatic start at Zandvoort. The Ducati revival is starting very well indeed, with a Ducati in the lead and a Ducati in third. Maybe we're going to see the Italian outfit win tonight, Tim.
Yeah, I think that's a high possibility, of course. I think it's a likelihood. I mean, the team, of course, until this Grand Prix, under Dutch leadership, not Dutch ownership, of course, but Dutch leadership. But well, now they aren't. So the leader who got this home race now isn't even here as the team boss. Now, of course, after selling it.
Will Martin be ruining that decision depending on what Ducati do tonight? I'm not him, but I certainly would be a little bit annoyed if I resigned. And then the next race, I saw my drivers 1 and 3 on the third lap of the race. Virtual Burn Island would not be pitting in the Aston Martin safety car until probably the next lap. So a little bit of breathing time, folks. A dramatic start to the race. But now we have a little bit of time to relax and just process what we've seen so far. What I can't process, though, is what a fantastic start Marcel has had, and splitting the Ducatis might be massive at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's likely a good one. I mean, he's the only Chevrolet on the track right now, of course, still driving, so he has to carry his team. His team, of course, currently the team is in second, only 5 points behind, but that gap will grow, especially will be taken in by Ducati unless he performs. So he knows he has to keep that second place in the constructor standings.
Marcel quaking in his metaphorical racing boots. I think it's fair to say. He's in a Ducati sandwich, and that is certainly not a nice feeling. Oscar has to serve a drive-through penalty. He will do so after the safety car comes in. Makan also has to serve his. He tried to be cute and pit, but that did not work for him. Will Virtual Burn Mylander pit at the end of the lap? The answer will probably be a big YES. No confirmation yet, though. Yeah, no confirmation yet, though.
It's gonna be late, the confirmation, isn't it?
It is.
If it's coming out, that's the question. I'm
Hopefully
beginning
we
to
don't
doubt
suffer.
it, but...
Yeah, we are going to get a very late restart if that is the case. Maybe we have a safety car glitch. That would not be nice.
I don't think so. I think the safety car... Well, of course, the safety car has not been out for that long yet, so...
No. That makes sense. If he does stay out, which it does. Lap 4 begins then 3 laps, or I should say no racing laps yet. We've had 4 laps under very slow conditions indeed. Virtual safety car for a little bit now. Full safety car. Ducati lead with Alexander Delnick, Marcel in second. Yes, for championship leader Oscar is in 4th, Nikon and Cludden 5th and 6th. The order has not changed since I said it to you last. Hopefully, anyway. But the grid taking it very tentatively around this track. Hopefully not trying to collide into anyone. These are big moments for this Grand Prix, of course. If you can get the restart nailed, and if Alexander Delnick can get away, then he has a fantastic chance of winning this very surely, Tim.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I think Cludden has won another position. I'm just checking who jumped up. Yeah, I mean, Oscar jumped 3 positions, Cludden and Litwa jumped 4, Domi jumped 5, 4 jumps for Litwa, of course, started in last. An 8th position.
Well, by Domi jumping 5 positions means that Domi is going to win the race. Will the safety car come in? If it doesn't, you would like to start to suspect that it's glitched, which would not be nice. Will Virtual Burn Mylander come in? Yes, he will. So we will be getting ready to go to racing again. Racing action will resume at Zandvoort.
Only one driver left on the softs, as 2 of them crashed out. One of them pitted for the medium compound, I believe, or hards. It was the hards. We had Mekan pitting for the hards, so we're only having Artem, the only driver who's on the softs right now.
Well, as a wise man once said, let's get ready to rumble. Lap 4, about to become lap 5. When will Delnick go? He's putting the throttle on a little bit more now, but it's still waiting. And is still waiting for Marcel to fall asleep. And he is away, and it's a fantastic restart as well from Alexander Delnick. Jasko can't get past until the safety car line, but Marcel is also towing him, but it's a fantastic run from Jasko Kirill, as he might well dive down the inside to get into second place. Moved on, but Marcel's holding on around the outside. Jasko trying to force his way past. Does make a small bit of contact. Marcel stays in front. Not much chaos in the safety car restart, though, but it is a perfect one for Alexander Delnick as Tokschnee has spun. And there are a few end plates flying around at the back, though, but your order after the safety car restart. Alexander Delnick from Marcel from Jasko. Oscar in 4th. He has to serve a drive-through penalty. Nikon from Cludden, from Litwa, from Artem, from Domi, and from Makan in the rest of the top 10. Marcel getting very close to the back of the Ducati of Alexander Delnick. Will he be able to make a move? Dives down the inside! And it's a fantastic move for Marcel to take the lead as Delnick's gone off the track. And what on earth has happened to him?
I think there might have been some contact. I don't know with who, but... Or he just fully locked up. That's horrendous from for him. As Nikon gets past.
Yeah,
Oscar.
Brilliant move on him. And Jasko's taking the lead of the race to 3 lead changes in the 1 lap. As Alexander Delnick's woeful form continues, it's almost like he's cursed in this league. But Ducati do lead this race with a Chevrolet in 2nd. Nikon is in 3rd, making up the rest of the podium. Oscar will pit to serve his drive-through penalty as Jasko sets the fastest lap of the race. Marcel 6/10 behind him. Oscar and Makan will fall down the field. Litwa going around the outside of Artem Lizov, trying to get the move on the switchback. obviously has a small disadvantage in terms of the tire gamble. He is on the harder compound tire compared to the softs of Artem, and Artem is absolutely gunning it here as his next opponent is Cludden. Tim.
Yeah, I mean, amazing stuff here. We'll see. We'll see, of course, horrible for Delnik. Delnik already making up the position on Marcus, of course, behind serving his served his drive to Souls. Oscar Delnik, well, he's lost a lot of time. We've got Toxine who pitted for new mediums. I don't know why already, but I assume he's got
I believe
damage.
he lost an end place.
Yeah, that would make sense. And then, of course, up front, well, lots of stuff happening. As currently, neither of the top teams is doing great business. One of them with only one car in contention. Of course, the other one crashed out. One of them having a drive-through penalty, and one of them being spun and losing positions that way. So they all only have one driver slightly up the front, with Litva being.
Sorry to interrupt him, but Artem Lizov is on the charge, and Artem Lizov flies past Cludden for P5, or P4, sorry. But DRS has been enabled to quote Peter Drury, wonderful, beautiful chaos in the first few laps of this Grand Prix. Yasko leads, hasn't pulled out a second lead on Marcel yet. Nikon's in third, nearly a second behind him in turn. Artem closing the gap though. He is looking for a Grand Prix victory, but of course those softs will degrade very quickly indeed, Tim.
Yeah, he has to make those positions, of course. With this tire strategy, it's basically mandatory to make as many positions up as he can.
Yeah, and of course his battery is also struggling. He's only on 13% after only two and a half racing laps. DRS has obviously been enabled, so that will be Marcel's big initiative to try and keep the gap within a second. Yaska does have a small moment, but will get DRS for the front straight, and that will certainly help him indeed. Skyscap's now left the session. In terms of battery, Yaska on 30%, Marcel on 55% as they drag down one towards the front straight. Artem's lost a lot of time in this lap. Here comes Cludden. Cludden will use DRS. We'll hang it around on the outside. We'll try and get the move done. And small contact made between Cludden and Artem there, but Artem holds on for P4 as Bath Destroyer gets past Litwa for P6. Cludden can't make the move on Artem yet, who is starting to struggle on those soft compound tires, it looks like.
Yeah, amazing stuff. As in the meantime, in the back.
Oh, what's happened to Cludden? Oh, wow. What on earth's happened to him?
It seemed that he just lost the car there, went on the grass. Somehow kept it out of the wall, at least.
Yeah, that's obviously very good for him, but you'd like to think that that might not have been driver, but more machinery error, maybe, because that was very spontaneous indeed.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get a word on that at the end of the race, but he still is within DRS range of Litwa. In 6th, Bath Destroy gaining on Artem Lizov, who's really starting to struggle, though, on the Red Bull soft compound tire. Small move for Bath Destroy for the second part of the chicane, but will get DRS as Artem has, not had a great restart. Has made up a lot of positions, but is struggling and is losing tenths by the second.
The softs are already worn out. The softs are already gone.
Well, here comes Bath Destroyer. Artem deciding to defend to the inside, and Bath Destroyer will go right around the outside of him to get into 4th place. Artem just about holds on, but cannot keep the place. He is relegated from 4th to 5th as Delnik gets past Cludden for 7th place. Delnik's revival has well and truly began as Vic gets past Cludden as well. Cludden falling down the order very fast indeed.
Yeah, Cludden, I'm not so sure, but it seems like he's got a lot of trouble since that moment. I don't know whether it's the tires just totally being gone or some part of the car being damaged, but it's not looking good for him. Or maybe just even his ego, that could also, of course, affect quite a bit.
Well, Marcel is out of DRS range of Yasko Kurl now, and he did have a big moment going through the fast right-hand corner. And now Nikon might well be able to make up the gap as they come in towards the chicane. Nikon's car lifted, I think, into the air. I saw that, yeah.
For the wheelie.
Yeah. Who does he think he is?
I don't know.
He is not showboating anyway, but he is trying to get past Marcel, who is not in DRS range of Yasko now, and this should be a very easy maneuver for Nikon as well, as he flies past Marcel before even getting to the corner. Marcel tucked back into the slipstream, but that will do absolutely nothing, as Nikon, now 9 tenths behind, now second behind, as Litwa has gone past Artem Lizov. He's fallen down the field because he has decided to pit, as those soft compound tires are absolutely shattered. Yellow flag, because we have contact. Litwa, Vic and Delnik have all come together. And this might bring out a safety car, who knows?
Oh, and that's Dominic perfectly getting out of the way of the cars coming ahead there.
Absolutely, yeah. Brilliant race car from him. But this race has just been absolutely abysmal for him. He started on pole position, went down to 12th after having a very sketchy moment. It is now down to 10th. His luck is absolutely gopping, to say the least, as Oscar is racing his teammate Will. Will there be team orders between Europol here? It depends. Oscar leading the championship, or was leading the championship. Not now, he isn't. Yasko would lead it at the moment with the live standings, as Litwood does let his teammate past.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Oscar in 8th position, 4 seconds behind Domi, who is challenging Vic for P6. Domi is on a charge to win this race.
in the meantime,
Nikon will have DRS.
Nikon will have DRS while he's driven away from Marcel. That's quite impressive.
Marcel falling really at the moment, obviously not keeping within DRS range of Yasko in the last lap, and falling out of DRS range of Nikon as well. So the second Chevrolet driver, the only Chevrolet driver left in the race, really struggling, potentially due to the medium compound tyres.
Yeah,
He will be pitting in a few laps as Vic pits.
and Nikon, I don't know, he's got a lot of pace right now.
He does. I would hazard a guess to say Nikon could win this race and make it 5 winners out of 5 so far this season. Yasko obviously won back in Austria a fortnight ago. Nikon
it would
looking
be
to make
great,
it 5
but
wins in a row.
We've seen so far that even when the likes of a Yasko, or a Dalnik, or Skyscraper,
Nikon, sorry to interrupt him, but Nikon did at the moment. Nikon's now out of DRS, and we'll have to deplete that battery down the back straight to probably get back in range. Yellow flag because Clodden has spun, coming into that corner there, and Oscar has to take drastic avoiding action there as they come into the right-hand corner there. Clodden is appearing to be stuck, or he had plenty of room to get out of it though, so I'm not sure why he's done that. Nikon now out of DRS. And we'll have to deplete that battery surely down the front straight to get back within DRS range. But this is perfect for Yasko. He is just pacing himself at the moment, controlling the race. He knows that he doesn't have to stress out about this because he is well and truly in control of this race and looking to become the first double winner of the season. I say that and he'll probably spin at some stage soon. But 1 second separating the main two at the front. Marcel a second and a half behind them in turn. Massive gap between Bath Destroyer and Domi at the moment. The field very spread apart at the moment after that safety car restart. But Tim, what have you made of the race so far?
honestly, it's been rather interesting to say the least, but lots of action happening still. I mean, so far it's been a positive surprise.
Nikon back in DRS range as well, which is very good for him. Does have a great run as we have a yellow flag because Domi has spun the car. And that's two cars that have now lost the rear going into that right-hand corner. And Domi was in a fantastic position and is now through it all the way down the toilet.
Yeah, it is a
goes
tricky-
into 8th position.
It is a tricky corner. I was there.
It is.
I was there last week, 1 week ago for F1 Academy testing, and loads of drivers losing it there, spinning it there. So well, it's not
Looking at
surprising
yeah.
that drivers here do it as well. I mean, if drivers in real life
Nikon's,
do it,
sorry Tim, but Nikon's pace has just been absolutely phenomenal in this race so far. Has caught up 5/10 of a second in that last lap. Of course, both drivers on the hard compound tyre. If they mirror each other's strategies, then they will definitely be fighting all the way to the checkered flag here. Nikon getting very, very close through the fast right-hand corner and then into the corner where Domi must have lost the rear on the last lap. Yasko keeping it nice and clean at the moment. Nikon forced to push, but is currently keeping a very good gap to Yasko. Marcel 2.5 seconds behind. He is very, very much struggling in that Chevrolet. 14 seconds between Oscar and Bath Destroyer as Alexander Dolnik sits the fastest lap of 1:11.992. He's in 13th and last at the moment as Nikon remaining very close to Yasko at the front. Into the penultimate corner they come. Nikon will have DRS and this will be his best chance to take the lead off this Grand Prix. Yasko is essentially powerless to fight this except using the meager amount of ERS he has left. Here comes Nikon, gaining in a straight line. We'll go to the inside of the track. We'll go up the inside and we'll take the lead off the Dutch Grand Prix. We have a new leader, everyone, because Nikon is on his way to make it 5 winners out of 5 so far this season. But do not expect Yasko to give it up that easily, Tim.
now of course we've seen Nikon having multiple moments. Jasko will just be patiently waiting for a moment.
And look how close Yasko is also getting coming in towards the 6th gear, maybe even 5th, depending on what line you take. His fast right-hander, Nikon, really struggling, it looks like, now that he's taken the lead. Maybe the pressure finally getting to him. Yasko is an experienced veteran. He knows what he's doing. Vic sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 11.871 on the medium compound tyre. But it looks like Nikon's getting away as Alexander Delnick goes even quicker, 1 minute 11.786. They're just training fastest laps at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
so what can Yasko do on the front straight? Will activate DRS 5 tenths behind. Nikon has an even worse load of ERS left, just 10%, and Yasko is gaining in a straight line here. Will it be enough to get past? He backs out of it, and he is one of the smartest and best drivers when it comes to racecraft in this league. He is not wasting any opportunities to maybe put Nikon off slightly, Tim.
yeah, I mean, Nikon has been driving great so far. Both the same strategy, it seems to be, so it's literally just gonna be on track. Whoever has the best on track gets there.
Who would you say the cards are with at the moment between the front two?
I'm still thinking Jasko has more chance of winning here.
Well, since Nikon took the lead, I think really it's a battle of whoever's second at the moment, because then you can put the pressure on whoever's leading, and Yasko is an absolute master doing that. Nikon is really struggling to get a gap, which also doesn't help the fact that Yasko obviously has DRS and much more overtake to use. But just looking at it at the moment, Yasko does look like the seasoned veteran. Nikon simply looks like a schoolboy with how he's trying to get away, but he will have a 2/10 more gap coming onto the front straight. Yasko will have to close that up, but he is not interested in taking the lead yet. He's biding his time, and he is just waiting for Nikon to make a mistake. The pit window will be opening in a few laps' time. Nikon and Yasko both in the hards. Marcel is on the mediums, Bath Destroyer on the hards in 4th. Oscar not making up much of the gap. He is losing his championship lead as it stands. Retirements at the moment, Dambo, 3rd place man in the championship Skies Gap, and Liberty Wake. But Tim, nearly halfway through this race, it's been a decent one so far as Vic goes past Tokshne.
It's been...
And Delnick makes contact.
Yeah, it's been a surprisingly pleasant race. It's Delnick now, of course, while he's trying to move through there. I mean, what do you think Delnick can do? I mean, he's all the way down there.
Well, look at him gain on Vic here, and Tokshne will also be waiting to try and go around the outside of Vic. He won't be able to make that move. I think there's a small contact as Vic does have a huge moment out of turn 1. But Delnick is making his way up the field very steadily indeed. He needs to bank on a safety car, I think, because I don't think he's going to make up multiple positions at the end. He's still got 21 laps to do so. But really, in all honesty, he needs a full safety car, as Yasko is incredibly close to this lap to what he was last lap to Nikon. He is gaining in a straight line, but will back out of it, and will put even more pressure on Nikon as Marcel pits. So Chevrolet deciding to bring their driver in, their only driver left in this Grand Prix. They come into the pits, and it will be a hard compound tyre for Marcel to go to the end of the race. Bath Destroyer is in 3rd, 6 and a bit seconds behind Yasko and Nikon, who are currently slugging it out at the front. If you're just joining us, welcome along to lap 17 of 36. 20 to go here at ZANDVOORT. I'm Mr. Storm. Joining me in the Next Gen booth tonight is Tim. It's been a fantastic race so far, and it's hopefully going to be another fantastic 20 laps to finish this one off, Tim. Litwell will come into the pits in the Europol and will drop down into 13th position. Yeah, Litwell down into dead last. He's on the hard compound tyre. But will we see the front 2 pit? That's going to be very interesting indeed. Oscar is 13 seconds behind Bath, so might be able to hold up Marcel slightly, which is certainly what Yasko and Nikon would want. Will they decide to pit? Let's find out. Pit window will roughly open around now for the hard compound tyre runners. Nikon will decide to stay out, and so will Yasko. Yasko is gaining here, but will not get the move done. He's just toying with his opponent at the moment, making him question whether Nikon really has the credibility and the ability himself to go on and win this race. Yasko, a master at psyching him out, essentially.
Yeah, but of course, Jasko is like building up ERS while Nikon is just burning through it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think Sir Alex Ferguson did this very well in football. He would obviously put off managers and win Premier Leagues.
Yeah.
And I suppose in the F1 equivalent of this, Yasko is Sir Alex Ferguson and Nikon is a Kevin Keegan or Rafa Benitez, because Nikon really struggling since he's took the lead, and Yasko just waiting for his opportunity to strike with 19 laps to go.
Yeah, Jasko's just playing the long game here. He knows that's
Yeah.
the way to go. He doesn't
Two
want
pit
to take
stops.
any risks.
Two pit stops. Sorry, Tim, but Domi and Cludden have pissed. Back to you.
Well, we've seen, of course, that's just Nikon is just trying to drive his race, trying to get away, but Jasko is just patiently waiting for the moment. He doesn't want to take too much risks.
Well, will they pit? Nikon will stay out, and Yasko will pit. So Yasko decides that his best chance of winning this race will not mirror his strategy, will not mirror Nikon's strategy. He goes onto the medium compound tire to finish off this race. And it looks like it's a good pit stop from the Ducati crew.
Yeah.
He will rejoin in around 3rd place, I would like to imagine. Nikon now probably has to respond to this. Marcel goes past Oscar as well, so it's a good move from Marcel there to get into 4th position. And it's going to be very close for him and Yasko, actually. Yasko has a poor run coming out of the pits. Marcel gaining, of course. Yasko is on cold tyres. Maybe Marcel is going to be able to catch him out and hang him out to dry. Yasko, though, has a decent enough gap and should probably hold on to 3rd position. Nikon now has to react and will probably come and pit at the end of the lap.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only logical thing to do, as Marcel can maybe determine who will win this Grand Prix, if I'm going to be honest.
Marcel the Kingmaker has a lovely ring with his Yasko goes very wide there, and here comes Marcel. Will go around the outside and will go into 3rd position. Maybe that was strategic from Yasko, or maybe that was a genuine mistake. Has he blinked first as Nikon will come into the pits?
Yeah, let's see where he comes out. I mean, he could come out ahead of Marcel, he could come out between them, between Marcel and Jasko, he could come out behind Jasko.
Well, definitively, he will be ahead of Bath Destroyers. He pits as well in the PHM. It's a fantastic stop there for Nikon as he goes onto the medium compound tyre. Both Marcel and Yasko coming around the final bank corner. But it does look like Nikon has done this very well as Yasko goes past. It's going to be very close as they come down the front straight. Yasko takes the lead. Or will try to take the lead at least. But it looks like Nikon has just about held on. It's going to be close. Nikon covers the outside and will remain in the lead of the race. But of course, Yasko will have the warmer tyres. Nikon on the mediums, so is Yasko. Yasko trying to get the drive out of turn number 4. Can't get the move done. Nikon just about holds on, but it's a freeway fight for the victory here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, amazing stuff there. Nikon, when he came out of the pit exit, he immediately had to block off Jasko to not lose the position.
Ducati a few weeks ago were floundering and drowning in this league. Now they have had a very, very big revival. The energy that's been put into this team is simply sensational. And now Yasko might be on to win this race in the first Grand Prix of a new era at Ducati. Only 4.5 tenths behind Nikon. And also, very importantly for Chevrolet, Marcel staying with Yasko. Maybe down to the fact that he does have DRS. But Yasko, of course, has DRS in turn on Nikon. Nikon sitting very, very badly at the moment as Tokschne's out of the race. And he's just decided to retire, I think.
Yeah, it seems like he just... I don't know why, what it is with people just... I mean, he was last with bad tires, but one safety car and you're back in contention.
You're back... Yeah, exactly, yeah. And who knows where the safety car could come from. Maybe the top 3 will have some sort of coming together, but Nikon at the moment
as well,
leading. So. Yeah, exactly. But here is your race order. Nikon does lead from Yasko in 2nd and Marcel in 3rd. Bath Destroyer way behind in 4th from the PHM. Artem, Makan, Oscar, Alexander Delnik, Vic and Lit will round out the top 10. Alexander Delnik getting very close to championship leader Oscar at the moment. Cludden and Domi round out the field retirements. Tokschne, Dambo, Skyscop and Liberty Waked. Nikon holding on by 5 tenths of a second to Yasko in 2nd position. Marcel is just about clinging on in 3rd position. His Kingmaker role wasn't as important as we thought, and he is now out of DRS. He needs a big run through the chicane, but has not done that whatsoever. Has skittled across a little bit of it, and is now well and truly out of DRS, and might be out of the hunt for the race win. We have a small move for Vic. Vic has spun through that exact same corner where Domi lost it a few laps ago, and where Cludden lost it a few laps prior to that. Yasko gaining in a straight line, sets the fastest lap, will go to the inside, but will back out of making the move. He was probably too far back, though. Nikon quaking in his metaphorical racing boots.
Yeah, I mean, Nikon doesn't seem to be... Yeah, of course he's trying to be quick, but he seems to be more focused on defending his position than driving away, and that's probably also the best thing, because Because
Well, I think the question to ask though is he scared?
I don't think he is. Otherwise, he'd probably not have made that defensive move immediately coming out of the pit lane either.
I mean, Nikon, obviously, we don't know what's going on inside his head, nor do we know what's going on in Yasko's head at the moment. Marcel is falling away from that group. He's fading very quickly indeed. Yasko and Nikon look to be the only two contenders that can win this race. It's been a fantastic drive from Nikon, an even better one from Yasko Kirill, though. Yasko looking to become the first double race winner of the season after winning in Austria a fortnight ago. Nikon looking to add to the list of 5 race winners this season. It was Flexi in Qatar, Skyscap in Japan, Yasko in Austria, and last week it was Oscar in Italy. Will it be Nikon in Zandvoort? Who knows? We've got 14 laps left to decide the winner of the Dutch Grand Prix. It's anyone's game who's going to win this, as Bath Destroyer sets the fast lap of the race, and Bath Destroyer is absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he might even catch Marcel, of course. I mean, he might catch up to Marcel, but we of course don't have to. You have to remember that at the end of the race, Marcel will have the better tire. So I think Marcel can have the P3 quite secure.
We obviously don't know that. I would still bank on as Litwa goes past Vic, and Litwa flies past Vic there in the front straight to get into 9th place in the Europol car there. Nothing Vic can really do. Has a small look to the inside, maybe to put Litwa off, but obviously will not be able to make that move. Nikon's had a fantastic lap though, and Yasko's depleting his ERS. Maybe Nikon is stronger than we think, and maybe he's finally pulled the pin.
Yeah, I mean, Nikon. I mean, Nikon is on low ERS the whole time, but he's quite on keeping it on the same page with the amount of ERS usage. While Yasko is burning through it by now. He's been
maybe Yasko's starting to struggle.
Yeah, Yasko has been going through the ERS more than he can gain it, and everything Nikon uses of his ERS, he gains back as well over a lap. So.
Will RUF T-Mobile about to get their first win of the season? Will it be a second for Ducati? Artem is off pits from 5th position. Makan will go past in the Union Jack car. Yasko is in second, 5/10 behind, just biding his time. But Nikon does maybe have the ability to pull the pin. His battery, though, really suffering at the moment, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, still, he's got more ERS than Nikon. Let's see. In the meantime, it's Clauden who's getting overtaken by Vic, or was it Clauden who tried to move on Vic and Vic defended? I'm not too sure. I think the latter it was. That Clauden tried to move.
Really, Tim, from what we've seen, I do think that both of the front two drivers are much more confident in the mediums than they were in the hards. I think that has to be said, because they are setting quicker lap times, obviously, but they do look more able to push the car to the limits, and that's obviously very important. Oh, what the hell has happened there? I've had a massive lag spike as both Nikon and Yasko went into the wall. Hooray. You didn't get that, Tim, did you?
Not quite.
Well, if Nikon and Yasko do go into the wall on my screen, that's probably just a lag spike. Makan pits and Oscar goes up to 5th in the Europol. He's 13 seconds away from Balthasar, who is steadily gaining on Marcel in the Chevrolet, but there is a massive ERS deficit between them. 56% for Marcel, just 10% for Bath Destroyer in 4th position. But the battle at the front still rages on with 12 laps to go. Nikon leads in 1st, Yasko's in 2nd, Marcel rounding out the podium positions in 3rd, but Bath Destroyer just about starting to gain on him. Alexander Delnik pits from, he goes down to 11th and now falls to 12th as Domi goes into 11th position after a pretty dismal race for him. Alexander Delnik's woeful luck continues. He just can't seem to get anything right in these races, can he? As well. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Justin, before you say anything, Tim, what a massive lap this is from Nikon as well. Maybe he's able to pull the pin, and maybe Nikon is finally trying to get away, but Yasko does have DRS, so it's going to be so hard for him to do that. Laps to go at Zandvoort. Nikon leads, Yasko 2nd, Alexander Delnik goes past Vic for P10, and he absolutely flies past him as well. Domi is also gaining on Vic. Might not be able to make the move. Of course, Vic set the fastest lap for a few seconds as well before Alexander Delnik reclaimed his current fast lap is with Bath Destroyer 1:10.800.
Marcus-
Slowest driver on the field
Marcus
is
flying past
Domi.
Litwa here on the main straight.
And he does make the move for P7. Vic does pit from 11th place and gets a 5-second time penalty as well to add insult to injury. We are about to go into the final 10 laps of the Dutch Grand Prix. Nikon leads it from Jasko in second. I've been saying that for the last few laps. But this is a perfect cat and mouse game as Nikon's had a big moment there. Nikon's had a massive moment. And Jasko might well be able to gain here. Will he decide to go past or will he back out? He backs out.
That moment was just not big enough for Jasko to get through immediately. Just missed that little bit of space, a little bit there. I mean, he could have gone for it, but he knew it was a big chance it would end wrong there.
Well, Nikon, maybe the confidence is now depleted slightly. 9 and a bit laps to go here. He still has the 7th, 10th lead, but things are getting increasingly complicated for the two men at the front. Marcel just about holding on to third. He's gained a little bit of time with Bath Destroyer and should about hold on for P3 here. Oscar is in 5th and he has got a massive gap to Artem in 6th. Jasko will currently lead the World Championship at the moment, given that he's always only 1 point behind Oscar coming into this race. Would now have, I believe, a 7-point lead as the host is now disconnected. I think that's Exceed.
Yeah.
It is. So we're heading into now the last 9 laps to this Grand Prix. The tension is certainly building indeed. Tim, I am literally shaking because of how exciting this is. Before you say anything, I do not have Parkinson's disease.
X-doubt. In the meantime, it's Delnik. Delnik has been flying through so far. He will get moved past Claude, and I mean, he's on the soft tire. He knows this is his chance. He's already within 1 point. 2 if you count the penalty of Claude, and then on track position, it's just a matter of time as well. In the meantime, up front, the gap is still closed there.
Jasko's had a very good lap so far, gaining a lot of time on Nikon. He's gained about 3 tenths on this lap, and that's obviously massive as well, because of course he will have DRS 2 times towards the end of this lap. And Nikon not being able to pull the pin as well as he was a few laps ago. Delnik's up to 9th in the other Ducati. He's fighting with Cludden and has just about got the move done, I think. But Cludden actually fighting it back though. Cludden's done very well there. And Cludden's back into 9th and has done very well against the Ducati of Alexander Delnik. But 4 tenths separate the main men as we come onto the front straight to start lap 29 of 36. 8 laps to go here at Zandvoort. It's anyone's game on who's going to win this race. Nikon might well have to defend like Senna against Mansell at 92 in Monaco. Here comes Jasko. We'll go around the outside. Yellow flag. Vic is out of the race. Safety car! And Nikon will stay in front.
Unbelievable.
And oh my word. This race has just turned its head 360, 720 degrees.
Destroyer has crashed in the pits.
David Coulthard moment.
Oh, we don't on the
know
main
how
straight it was. It's on the main straight. He crashed on the main straight, but yet he's in the pits. Oh, what was that?
And that's a glitch. Oscar, yeah, that's a massive glitch. Oscar has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now he's down to 5th. Some massive glitches happening here. But Bath Destroyer now is on the soft compound tyre. We have a safety car. The race is turning its head.
Well, it's so glitchy.
And now it's anyone's game.
For me, Oscar still says in the pit, but he isn't in the pit on my screen.
He's coming out on my screen now, yeah. So the game glitching now, and now everything's going wrong, so I'm not sure what's happening. Few technical difficulties, but hopefully they will be sorted soon enough. But Nikon has had his prayers answered. He's got a safety car, and now him and Jasko will surely go onto the soft to finish this race. Stays out on my screen, so does Jasko.
Yeah, they stay out on my screen as well, so it's probably because they do that. Where's Oscar on your screen? That's the question.
Nikon's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Ooh. What?
What's happening?
He's in the pit, but he's not in the pit on my screen.
What on earth is happening?
I don't know.
And maybe the lobby has now decided to
Just kill
kill itself. Yeah.
I mean,
Could this call for a restart?
it probably could.
It'd only be a 5-lap race then, though.
Yeah, true that.
This is chaos, to say the least. Yaska's been disqualified. And now I think we have to restart.
Well, he's disqualified according to the thing, but on my game he's still in.
Yeah, same with myself.
What is happening here?
I think this might be because of just the host disconnecting and then rejoining.
Nah, I don't think that
Would
will
that
be
not
that
be it?
glitchy.
Mm.
It should just transfer.
Mm. Well, now I think we have to restart at this stage.
Yeah, I think so. Let me just.
Yeah. This is utterly ridiculous. So what's the update? Tim, are we restarting now, or what's the deal here?
I don't know. It's glitched. It's just we're currently asking. We're just discussing what we're doing. I mean, the lap is also stuck. The lap count. I'm kind of hoping it will just be fixed in a bit, but
Doesn't look like it anyway.
that doesn't look like it is. Although there are some cars now on my screen bunched behind the safety car.
Yeah, the same.
But
with
the
myself,
times
yeah.
are really weird.
Yeah, AFY is calling for a restart. This is just turning into absolute chaos here. Glorious chaos. Well, it's not really glorious, is it? But
No, it's not.
it's certainly dramatic.
That's certain.
What is actually happening? I have absolutely zero clue. On my screen, it does say we're on lap 32 of 36, but Nikon might well be able to lap the field at this race because of what's happening. And now he's down to 10th.
It's too glitched. As decision
Yeah.
has been made, what's gonna happen?
And that is... we don't know.
Now you do.
Yeah. Are we going to restart then, or... I'll check. Red flag, but no restart. So... has the race now been suspended? I believe it has. So, how are we taking the restart then, when the safety car came out, or? Goodness
I
knows.
think it's probably better to just then order when the safety car comes out. That will probably be the way it will be classified then.
So, how far did we get in then? 28 laps, 29 laps?
Somewhere along those lines, I think.
So, the Dutch Grand Prix is over.
It seems to be. I mean, I was kind of hoping to wait it out, but it didn't seem to be fixed.
So this is, ludicrous. This is dramatic. But that should mean that Nikon wins the race by the absolute skin of his teeth.
Yeah, basically.
So, in the most fascinating and ridiculous fashion, we have 5 different race winners in 5 races, and 5 different constructors have won races in the first 5 Grand Prix. And T-Mobile have picked up a Grand Prix victory thanks to Nikon. What on earth is happening here?
EA.
Safety car's actually coming in now, so the end of the race will be contested, presumably, by the drivers who want to go to the line, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they can, but the official
Yeah.
results.
Will not, but they don't matter. So, I don't suppose there's much point in commentating this, but I suppose it's time to analyze what's just happened to him.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Bath Destroyer leads us away from the front, then Marcel in second, Maka in third. But of course, none of this matters, because the race has now been suspended, and Nikon has won the Grand Prix. However, now it does look like the field looks like it's in AI now on my screen.
Yeah, I think it's all AI by now.
Yeah.
As we'll just
So,
end it here then.
yeah. So,
time for the post
I have
race,
no
I
idea
guess?
how we, yeah, I have no idea how we proceed with this. But that was chaotic. We're back in a moment.
Glorious chaos, the biggest predicament we've been in quite a while. What on earth happened to him?
EA just desync.
Yeah, fair enough. So, can we get an official rundown on who's won the race?
I'm currently rechecking that, so
VAR checking. process. There's a little bit of controversy on whether Nikon will win it due to the 5-second time penalty he did receive. But are we looking at whether it'll be before the safety car or after it?
Before.
Okay. So
It's
probably Nikon will win.
standing, it's yeah, Nikon. That's for sure. Nikon will. Don't see any reason why he wouldn't be pronounced winner. Well, unless penalties, of course. But
Hmm. Well, I have zero idea what to say, and I have zero clue what's absolutely happened here. This is a very, very sad way to win the race, which is actually quite good, I think. Driver's now joining us.
oh my goodness, I'm counting it back right now as um excluding the penalty, Klodden stayed ahead by 0.032 seconds around the finish line, so that's funny.
Okay, well, we'll get a quick interview with a few people and then we'll wrap things up tonight because still a lot of discussion to be made. We'll get a quick word with Balthazar.
That sounds like a good idea.
Good evening, Balthazar. What on earth happened there? Oh, he's muted himself. Hold on. And he's gone. Look, I think we should sum things up at this stage. Well, Tim,
Yeah.
a lot of controversy, a lot of drama, and still a lot to be sifted through, but a Dutch Grand Prix that was certainly fantastic for the most part ends in pure and utter controversy. At this stage, we think Nikon's won it, but we're not sure, and we'll be back next week. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next Friday, same time, same place. Bye from us.